So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have a lot of these things already typed up because of time constraints. But one thing you do want to know is September 2021. So basically anything that's happened after that, any questions you ask it, it will not know about. So it's not going to know anything that happened in January of 2023 or July of 2022. So do know that that is a limitation that the current model has. So what are the names of the people that founded Microsoft? So this one's going to go through the information. It's going to tell you Bill Gates, Paul Allen, obviously. And it does say 1975. So if I do type in what year, that's why I don't type. What year, and it will tell you 1975 because it knows. But if I happen to go to a new chat, which I'm going to do now, and I type in what year, it's not going to have any idea what it is. It just knows the current year because it doesn't have a reference to my previous conversations. So here it does have short-term memory where you can remember the previous conversation. So do keep that in mind. You can keep asking it questions and improving things as you're going through it, as long as it's in the same chat. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one there. You can just delete these by going over and doing that. So I'm going to do a new chat. This is kind of brainstorming and doing creative lists. So one thing I want to do is maybe I want to, how do I create a business plan? So I'm going to go ahead and say, how do I create a business plan? And it's going to walk through my different things that I need, and it goes through, right? So it's in decent shape. It goes through my executive summary, provides all my different information, a guide through everything. But maybe I want that to be in, hey, can you put that into a slide deck format? So now, since I'm in the same thing, I said put it in a slide deck because it knows that what it's doing. Again, short-term memory on these things is kind of good. So this will actually now say, certainly, here you go. Slide 1, it gives you a slide title, goes through all the different information. And this one's over languages. So this is how you can actually have it translate. So give me one of the famous quotes from Steve Jobs. And here you go, stay hungry. Stay foolish, Steve Jobs. So I can just say, you know what? Can you convert that quote to Spanish? And then there you go. It automatically converts it back over. I'm assuming that's correct. If we wanted to check, we can just copy it and then say convert to English, and then paste what I had in there, type it in, and it converts right over. So it's a pretty decent translator that you can use for translating anything you need to do. We're going to go through a new chat. This one's a comparing chat. So this is how many times do you say, well, do I do this or that? Or is, and I'm just going to go through an example, I guess. What's the difference between a hybrid and a hybrid plug-in hybrid? So this is comparing the two between the two systems. Or you can say, even before, I'll do that for right now. But you can also do the same thing. It kind of breaks it down on that. And another way to say that is, let's say hybrid versus, because that's kind of what you always see is this versus that. So hybrid versus that. Both are electric. It kind of walks through it, very similar to what you're doing. If you don't like the response, by the way, you can read it and say, that doesn't seem right, because it does embellish quite a bit. These things aren't perfect. It will be very creative in its responses. You can always just click regenerate response, and it's going to go through based on my previous question and regenerate another one. And it breaks it down a little better, goes through it. You can read it. It wants to know if it was better or worse than the first one, and you can always go back here and go back and forth between the two. If you do decide you like this one better, you can always thumbs up it, and you can also copy it. So if I do want to be able to copy this, I click this little copy button, and now I can paste it into a Word document or wherever I want to move it to. It's also very good at writing. So I'm going to have it write a little short story. Write a short story about using a whiteboard in the forest, right? Just what everyone does. At least I do. So this is kind of a little short story. It goes through the information, goes through what it goes. So if you read it, once upon a time in a dense enchanted forest, it goes through it. It does a pretty decent job. And you go through and read it all, and then you can actually ask it questions. So if you want to summarize, you can actually have it. What are the two main takeaways from the story? And when you do that, it's going to break it down. Power of imagination and creativity. Yep, thumbs up. And nature and art. I don't know if I have that, but when I do it, it's definitely more innovation of stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, emails. We're going to go through emails next. So I do a lot of emails. I think most of us do. So a lot of times I'm going to I'll say this one. Create an email thanking Bob for the invite to dinner, but I cannot make it. So you just kind of say what that is, and it's going to send out a message. Subject, Dear Bob, hope this email finds you well. And it ends up in delicious food, great company, but once again, thanks for the consideration, but I can't make it. So pretty good at creating emails. I can't remember the last time I actually wrote an email. Most of my emails are all generated from here. And again, make sure you read it, because it does embellish and make a lot of stuff, and you'll find a lot of consistencies that it does. So you do want to proofread all of it. This one is going to be responding to emails. Let's see. All right, so this one's going to be to respond. So I got this email, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. So basically, I received an email from someone, so I grabbed the text out of the email, and then I just said, respond to this email, I am not interested. And then I paste the email in there. What it will do is it will actually understand the context of the email, knows I'm not interested, and generate the email for me. Dear sender, thank you for it. And it goes through and it does a fantastic job, better than I would do, because I read it and say, just stop spamming me. But this does a fantastic job at writing up emails based on the content it has. So very cool stuff. I mean, responding to emails, or creating emails, creating PowerPoint slides, all the stuff that as a business person does every day is a huge, huge time saver. The very last thing I'm going to talk about is it's understanding how to create prompts. Prompts need to be created very precise, and they need to be clear and precise. You need to make sure you write a good one, or the best prompt you want to say. You want to start off telling ChatGPT how he should think. So in this case, you wanted to say you are a real estate data analyst, and then you're going to say explain the real estate market from the 1990s compared to 2000. But this is a key part right here. You tell ChatGPT what frame of mind he's in when he's answering this stuff. And this is one of the key things, and they keep calling it prompt engineering. But it's just being smart and making sure the large language model, or ChatGPT, understands how to respond. Can you summarize this to 2 sentences? Type in that, it'll go through everything you just wrote up, and bam. I hope this was beneficial, and thank you very much for your time.